Welcome to SIG-Apps, everyone. It's January 9th. Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a wonderful break. And thanks for being here with us today. So we have a few items on the agenda. The first is about retro. So we'll have a 1.5 retro on January 23rd. And Jason Dumars, who has led the Kubernetes overall retro, has graciously agreed to be a part of ours and lead ours. So we're going to hear about what that process looks like from him. And then after that, we'll dive right into the 1.6 planning action item that we have for today. So with that, I'll hand it off to Jason. Take it away.
All right. Hey, well, first of all, I'm honored to be able to help SIG-Apps out, and I love what's happening here. I wish that I had time to participate personally, but if this is what I can do, then great. So just a little bit about, for those who don't know what retrospectives are about, essentially the goal is to create a really blame-free and safe environment for everybody in the community to talk about what went well, what could have gone better, and then really have a trajectory towards these are the specific things that we want to identify to change before the next release. So it's really targeted about, let's feel good about what we accomplished, but let's make sure that we have some learnings and we can say, when we do the retro, these 10 things we identified to do, and we did say 8 or 9 of those, and that would be a really great way to track progress across time. So what we do is we have a document that we'll share, and basically Michelle can put a link out for that, but essentially what we'll do is have you go into the document and identify those things under each of those headings, what went well, what could have gone better, and what are we going to change, and put your initials by it. And then what we'll do in the meeting is we'll step through those and have people who have the input talk about what it was that they're specifically saying and what they feel like needs to change, and then we can have a discussion around each of those points. And we'll document those, and some of those will turn into action items that we have concrete things to do. And for every action item, we identify an owner so that there's accountability. And if we're lucky, the next time we do a retro, the things are better, and we've actually accomplished some of those things. So in a nutshell, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. So yeah, I think this is really important for us since we're a relatively new SIG, and this is the first time we're going to do this. I'm very excited to kind of hear what everybody has to say. And Jason, is there anything that we should do beforehand to prepare us for the retro?
The only thing is to go into the document itself, which you'll provide access to, and then have people go in and enter items and claim them with their initials. And if you have really if you want to put your full name there too, it's just as well. But the only ask is that if whoever puts an item in there can't be present in the retro, that they give as much detailed information in the document as possible.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So let's jump right in to our 1.6 planning. I'll go ahead and share the document that everybody's been working on. Great. Can everyone see my screen okay? I'm going to take silence and no screaming as yes. All right. So here I'm thinking that we can go down the list and kind of give it a high-level overview. If this is your area, please feel free to speak up. And there are some... There's I guess one component that isn't filled out yet, so it's okay for you to add things after the meeting, and we'll just follow up with finalizations on any finalizations or highlight them at the next meeting. But if you forgot or anything, feel free to add while we're talking about it as well. Okay, so stateful set. Eric, are you on the call? Eric, Clayton, Janet, or anyone else on that team? Okay. Did I hear something? No? All right. Okay, so here we have some objectives for Stateful Set. We want to get init containers to GA. We want to get the service annotation from alpha to beta. We want Stateful Set ordered pod creation fix, which is linked to probably an issue. And we want to upgrade charts to use Stateful Set and expand the charts repository when it comes to Stateful Set examples. Thanks, Steve, on the update for Clayton. He's out today in a meeting. Okay, so moving forward, Helm.
Hi, Michelle. This is Dilip from Huawei. This is the first time I'm joining the SIG.
Hi, welcome.
So I have a question on the stateful set. So if I have to contribute to the stateful set, say for instance, I have created a pet set for a particular workload. So where do I actually send it? Send for review? Is it contrib pets or is it something else?
Is it an example or a fix?
It's not a fix. I mean, we already have a stateful set for Redis. So yeah. I'm planning to create one. I've got a working one right now. So which is like a little bit faster than the existing one. So if I want to send it out for you people to take a look at it, what would be the best place?
Okay, so for review from the SIG, I would put that out in the mailing list. And I can send you more information on that right after this.
Okay.
And if you want to contribute it, I would talk to Eric Toon about that.
Okay. And one more thing, I was playing around with the init containers. So are there any plans of bringing similar facility after a container is started? I did see some of the container hooks where you get a signal when a container is started. I mean, when Kubernetes thinks the container is started. But is there anything that is very similar to init containers? Like if I want to run a job in a stateful set, after I start my containers, then is it possible? Do we have that in the roadmap?
Eric is a better person to talk to about that. I wish we were on the call.
Okay.
Does anybody else have information on that, on the roadmap for init containers? Okay, let's follow up after about that.
Okay, yeah, super.
Thank you. Okay, Matt Butcher, do you want to take us through the Helm goals for 1.6?
Sure. During the 1.6 lifecycle, Helm should be releasing its 2.2 and hopefully 2.3 releases. So the items these are in no particular order, but authorization, authentication, currently Tiller uses the pod credentials that it's running in. We're talking about trying to figure out if there's a way for pass-through authentication. SSL configuration is sort of a wide one. Basically, there are no hooks currently in Helm or Tiller for you to explicitly manage your SSL configuration. There's already an open PR to start that adds a whole bunch of SSL support. We'll probably keep going on that and add some more for Tiller as well. Plugins were introduced not too long ago, but there's currently no management layer on top of them. You have to sort of manually manage them. So there's a plugin management issue open. The ideas that are floating around are largely oriented around a sort of tool similar to like Plug for Vim or something like that. Chart integrity testing tool is the big highlight feature for 2.2, and Michelle is working on that right now. So that'll allow people to run in-cluster tests of a chart to verify that the chart, when it's installed, will correctly install. And then improvements to upgrade is sort of our ongoing thing as we try to make the upgrade process easier and easier, leveraging more and more of what Kubernetes has to offer with the apply logic and things like that. So those are sort of the big 5 features that we envision happening in 2.2 and 2.3. The 2.2 roadmap is locked down. Its tentative date will be somewhere in mid-February. The 2.3 milestone is still open for additional features, hopefully smallish features since we've already got some big ones here. But that one will come a couple of months after. So end of March, beginning of April is likely when that one will land. Not that we ever give times to our open source projects, but you know. So I think that's all. That captures all the big ones.
Awesome, thank you. Awesome. Compose folks, are you around?
Yeah, Tomasz here.
Tomas?
So yeah, hi. So for Compose, there are also this is no in particular order, just some things that we want to do. And first is that we want to improve Compose down and up, because right now there are some cases that you can end up with partially deployed or undeployed applications. So we would like to make down and up it a bit more smarter and resilient. We are also discussing how to start supporting a build directive in Docker Compose. So you can actually build containers with Compose and deploy to Kubernetes. The biggest item here is probably improve our unit test coverage and improve testing overall, because we have a lot of things to do there and catch up. And we are also discussing how to implement some kind of preference file. So if user wants something change the default, so he doesn't want to always specify some kind of parameter or again. So we would also add this. And that's all.
Awesome, thank you. All right, deployment replica set folks.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sure. So this is Mikhail from the OpenShift team. I compiled this list for deployments. These are some stuff that I would like to get in, but I for sure welcome contributions from everybody. There are lots of issues that we have still to add for deployments. One is the migration to the new hashing algorithm, which I've been working on. Server-side deletion, which it's already merged in master. Custom deployments, probably we are going to work on it. I'm not sure. Recently I've changed teams internally in OpenShift, and I don't have much time working on most of the stuff for deployments, but definitely review bandwidth I can spare. Yeah, I would also like stuff like automatic rollbacks, maybe canary tracks, but I'm not sure if I will be able to work on them for the 1.6 timeframe. That's it from me.
Okay, thank you. Did you touch on the custom deployments?
So I don't know if Michal is in the call right now because he's supposed to work on them. I will get in touch with him, and I will let you know if we're going to work on it for 1.6.
Sounds good, thank you. All right, daemon set updates. Somebody want to talk about that?
Hi, so it's Łukasz. I'm the author of this pull request for updates. And basically what I need is a green light from SIG-Apps core team, because there were some concerns about pod template, about using pod templates for history. So I need someone, Brian or Clayton, to just accept it or propose a different approach.
Okay, great. And do you have a link to the design document by any chance?
There is no design document.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Appcontroller team?
So hello, it's Jędrzej here. So again, for 1.6 timeframe, we have plans to add HA support for Appcontroller pod. It should work kind of automatically. We obviously need to fix a lot of documentation because currently it's not good enough. We have also plans to join Kubernetes incubator early this year, which means early Q1 even. Yeah, we have also plans to finally support this MySQL multi-slave case, which we haven't on our site for a long time. We have plans to improve testing suite, and we have plans to create this initial Helm and Appcontroller integration, which is already submitted. The PLC quality code is submitted to Helm as a pull request right now. We demoed it on several Like we demoed it already on Helm dev meeting, and we have scheduled demo for that on SIG-Apps like next week, I suppose. Yeah, and that's basically all from my side.
Thank you. All right, Antoine or Jimmy, are you around to talk about CNR?
Yep, I can talk a little bit about CNR.
Thanks.
So for CNR, we went to mature our initial Helm plugin, which implements our proposal for a standard API for uploading and downloading Kubernetes applications. Currently, we just demoed it at the last Helm DevSync, and that was using a pipeline implementation. Eventually, we'd like to work on a Go implementation. We'd like to actually write down those standards and come to a cohesive decision on what the API should look like and have that owned by some neutral party in the future. And then we'd like to achieve feature parity across Helm, KPM, and then whatever the reference implementation is called. Then we want to start the discussion around expanding those standards beyond just upload, download, and search. And then there are a lot of open questions, but I think I don't want to go down that rabbit hole just yet.
Sounds good. All right, Date's workflow. Matt or Matt? Or up Matt?
I'll go. Can you guys hear me okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry that this is kind of random. These are things that I just typed a few seconds ago because Michelle nudged me to, and I'm really glad she did. So basically, you may remember we presented Workflow, which is a separate product a while ago. We want to get a lot more serious about cooperating with you guys and listening to feedback. We know Workflow is useful to a whole lot of people, but it is primarily useful because it sort of insulates you from the Kubernetes model, and we think there are some ways to get a lot closer to Kubernetes and make things a little more transparent. So we're interested in getting more serious about what your opinions are and incorporating that, and maybe getting pieces of it into Kubernetes Incubator if that's appropriate. We looked at RBAC a while ago, and it really did not fit our needs, so we have a separate auth model right now, but we would like to at least take another look at the state of RBAC and see if that's something we could just rebase on top of. We've had some ideas about a smaller, more Kubernetes native workflow v3 that we've been kicking around, and we should want to put those down in a formal design document at some point. We have just a feature for workflow that people have been asking for forever that we're going to get in there. And then finally, we want to cooperate more seriously with the core Helm team to see if there's any way we can help with, not that there's any issue here, I think you guys are doing a great job, but if there's any way we can help with support and reviewing and just back you guys up, that's what we're here for.
Awesome, thank you. Antoine or someone from CoreOS want to talk to us about KPM?
Hi, yes. So it's been a long time I've make an update on KPM, and so I wanted to get an update of JSON-net format and show the differences, how we can package an application with JSON-net. Also, I'm working on an integration with M, and I wanted to discuss so KPM deploy a little bit in different ways on M, and I think both are interesting. So also the integration with the CNR to store the packages. And also, and last, I wanted to demo a lot of discussion around Stateful app. So I wanted to show how JSON-net can help to just package this way. At the end, the main point is to just get some idea of what the differences with M and maybe some feature for M in the future. Okay.
Thank you. For the person who added the other sections, you want to talk to us about what you're thinking here?
I can talk about it.
Okay.
I'm not sure who are it, but we are working on moving the CLI repairs from kubectl to the server so other clients can take advantage of it. And that requires controller references in most of our controllers. Right now, we have owner references for replica sets, replication controllers, and deployments. And we also need it for stateful sets, daemon sets, jobs, and cron jobs. And that's the remaining work.
Awesome.
I'm not sure who is going to work on those, but that's the state of things right now.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Okay, we went through this planning document way faster, probably 3 or 4 times faster than the last time. So at this point, does anybody have anything to add to this planning document?
Yeah, I had just a question to Matt Butcher from the Helm team on the SSL integration on that one specific ticket. I just wanted a little bit of clarification on that. Is that the communication between the Helm client and Tiller? Or is that the communication between Tiller and the chart, which I think that's already available right now, at least with a chart server?
The PR that is open in there now is for client-side SSL auth to a chart repository.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the latter. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's one of the areas we were trying to work on. The other one is to get Tiller's SSL configuration, make it possible for you to configure Tiller's SSL for gRPC.
Any more questions? Mike has a question. Okay, so could someone quickly touch on the differences between KPM and Helm? And if there's some sort of merging of efforts or if they're being kept independent of each other for now? Thanks. Antoine or Matt Butcher, you want to take one of those or that question?
Yeah, so I think one of the ideas, like I want to do some updates, is just to especially show the differences and maybe convert to the effort. So there is some difference, and by discussing it through different SIG-Apps, I would like some of the feature in KPM to be in M and see if it's possible, or if we can, or if we just live in separate way. So as the differences, KPM doesn't use the same package format. It's based on JSONnet, and it's not supervised, for example, by a Tyler server side. So there is a couple of things, and also on many difference on the way the dependencies are managed. So I'll probably go through all those details in the future SIG-Apps.
Thank you, Antoine. And Matt Butcher, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I'd add to that is, it's often very healthy to have 2 separate approaches trying to solve a very similar problem the way that we are. I mean, because we've been working together and discussing things for, I don't know, 6 months now, Antoine? So, it's kind of like a friendly, healthy way of trying to grow different perspectives on how we can treat Kubernetes apps as packages. And we're learning a lot from each other. So I don't feel like there's any really strong impetus why we have to merge them immediately. And it's turned out to be pretty advantageous. CNR is a good example, right? Where you can say, okay, well, 2 different things would need to approach it this way. So a better generalized solution would be something like this. That said, anytime we find that we are ready to kind of combine the projects, I think we'd be happy to try and do that. We just so far have found it beneficial to the community at large to kind of keep going with each of us doing things the way we are. Does that sound fair, Antoine?
Yes. Yes.
I think just clarifying one more time that CNR is essentially the unification of work between the 2 projects where we've established that this is the correct idea and I think we should go forward this way, whereas KPM and then Helm are each trying to solve the problem their own way.
Thank you all so much. Any other questions?
Hi, this is Dilip again.
Hi.
So CoreOS have actually released a couple of operators. So say they call that pattern as operators. So one is for etcd, the other one is for Prometheus. So are there any thoughts about bringing them into Kubernetes, or how is that going to work? If somebody has to write a new operator, where will that go? Is there any idea of unifying it, just like Helms?
Good question. Does anyone from CoreOS want to take that one?
I can speak a little bit about it. I think operators right now still don't truly, I'm not sure if we have a story for how they integrate into the ecosystem yet. I think operators are a place where we're experimenting and building them out until we find kind of like a shared framework for actually writing operators. Because right now an operator is very, very, the point of an operator is to explicitly define some unique constraints around your application and express that to Kubernetes. And I don't think we can provide a generic or declarative way to do that until we've sufficiently made quite a few of them.
Okay, thank you.
Good questions, y'all. So maybe we can also put an operator demo on the schedule for the next coming few meetings. Any other questions? Okay. The next step for the planning process is to assign each item to someone. Last time we created an Excel document and did it that way. So if there are no objections, I'll do the same thing again. And then we can also come back to this process and discuss it in our next retro meeting. First retro meeting. All right. Does anybody have anything else to discuss for today? We're done with the 1.6 planning items that I had to discuss. Okay. Something in chat. Oh, Matt Farina, thanks for that. So next week, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the US, and some companies have the day off. So Matt's question is, will folks be here next week? So if you do have the day off and you're not going to be here, would you mind just typing into chat that you're not going to be here? Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, well then, in that case, it seems like there are several people who aren't going to be here. So let's consider canceling next week's meeting. Is that something that everyone feels comfortable with?
Like real next week, or what do you mean? Like
January 16th.
16th. Okay.
And what that would mean for demos is that we would want to move them to the January 30th meeting. Okay, let's actually.
Can you drop a mail in the mailing list asking about it?
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, and there's a question in here. It says there's been talk on mailing lists of 1.6 being a stabilization release. How we considered that in our SIG planning. Yes, we have. I guess we didn't strictly consider it. We kind of just made it known, I believe, in the last meeting when we were talking about it. But no, I would say we didn't strictly talk about that in, or consider that in just in our planning process. Some of that is because like the projects that we're championing in SIG-Apps are not a part of the Kubernetes repo itself. And so we don't necessarily do the same things. And the Kubernetes specific items that were brought up were from the people who are working on the project. And so that's kind of taken into consideration there. Does that answer your question? Okay, great. Okay, well, with that, we can conclude 30 minutes early. We'll talk a little bit more on Slack and over the mailing list on what we want to do about next week's meeting. I apologize that I totally forgot it was a holiday, but we'll talk more about that then. I hope everyone has a great week and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.